Shalom, we are broadcasting from the Aish HaTorah World Center opposite the Western Wall. Special program for today in honor of Jerusalem Day. Normally thousands of people come here on a regular Jerusalem Day year, but this year only a handful. But we want to give an opportunity to you at home to be able to experience Jerusalem like it's never been experienced before. I want to invite you to follow me up to the roof. I'm going to be showing you a tremendous new app that we have that's going to show you a new angle of what Jerusalem used to look like and what it looks like today. Make sure to like and share this video because we still want thousands of people to be able to connect to Jerusalem on this day, to be able to feel the uniqueness and what's so special about this day. My name is ETL Goldwicht, and I'm so excited to be taking you on a tour and on a journey like never been seen before. Follow me. We're going up to the rooftop of Aish HaTorah, the best view there is in Jerusalem. I'm going to let you know. Follow me. We open up this door. I'm going to let you go up ahead of me. This way you could see Jerusalem untouched without me. I want you just to take in the view. What do you feel when you see the view coming upstairs? Come. So we're standing right now on the edge of the Aish HaTorah rooftop overlooking the holiest place in the world for Judaism, which is what? So most people tell me it's the Western Wall, but the truth is that it's not. The holiest place for the Jewish people is actually up there. You see the Dome of the Rock? The Dome of the Rock is where the first and second temple stood. The first temple was built by King Solomon, the son of King David, and when you look straight up there, that's exactly where it was. That was the location of where the first and second temple stood. The first temple was up there for 410 years. It was destroyed by the Babylonians. Most of the Jews went out to 70-year exile in the Babylonian Empire, then the Persian Empire, and then only after the story of Purim, of Queen Esther and Mordechai, Achashverosh, that entire story, that's when they were able to come back to the same exact location and build the second temple. Now, I get a chance to host here a lot of different people from all over the world, heads of states, presidents, vice presidents, really from many different countries, and not only that, celebrities, soccer players, football players, basketball players, people from all over the world come up here to our Aish HaTorah rooftop, all trying to understand what is so special about this place. What makes this place so special? Why is this the only place in the world where so many different people from different backgrounds, they want to come up here, they want to come to this location? Why? What's so special? What is so special about an ancient wall of rocks that this is the only place in the world? Did you ever think about it? It's the only place in the world that is holy and sacred to the three main religions: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. And the question is why? Now, before I explain to you what's so special about this location, I want to first really introduce myself because I am connected to this place on a personal level. My name is ETL Goldwicht, like I told you down below. I was born here in Yerushalayim. My father was born here in Jerusalem. My grandfather was actually born here in the Old City before 1948, before the formation of the State of Israel. It was then known as Palestine. That's when he was living here in the Jewish quarter, which has been here for hundreds, thousands of years. There's always been a small Jewish community keeping the line. The Churva Shul, the Ramban Shul, all the way from the time of the Rishonim. My grandfather was born here, his father, 7 generations that I'm here in Yerushalayim. And it's a real honor to be here because my grandfather, that his family had to leave the Old City in 1948, was one of those people who came. He was on the Yerushalmi Brigade, and 53 years ago today, he was able to come to this Western Wall and to be the second line right after the paratroopers who liberated the Western Wall. I actually have a picture at home of my grandfather today, 53 years ago, standing like a child who is back home for the first time opposite the Western Wall, praying to his father and saying, "Dad, I'm here, I'm back." And that's why today is such a special day for me on a personal note. And it's a privilege and honor for me to be here with you, watching us at home, speaking about the uniqueness and what makes this city so special. Before we speak about the Temple Mount, I want to speak about the Western Wall because so many of us think that this is it. This is the item of the Western Wall, but let me show you a little bit where the Western Wall is. See, the Western Wall is much bigger than this wall that we're used to seeing. The Western Wall actually starts over there. You see the little tower on that side, next to the El Aqsa Mosque, next to the trees. El Aqsa Mosque, by the way, this is the house of worship for Islam. In this area, that's where they pray. It's called El Aqsa El Quds. It's the edge of the mountain. They face Mecca. And this is the edge of the Western Wall. That's why we have a tower over here symbolizing the edge of that Western Wall. But if you follow along, right next to the Golden Dome, right in the middle, there's its second tower. That second tower continues along all the way to the third tower over there. If you focus your eyes on that third tower over there, draw a straight line between all three towers, that is the full length of the Western Wall. We're talking about 488 square meters. It's huge. We're talking more than 10 football fields. That's how big the Western Wall is. Now, who built the Western Wall? The Western Wall was built towards the end of the Second Temple. See, when they came back here after the story of Purim, the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, they were able to complete the renovation and the rebuilding of the Second Temple. It stood here for 420 years. In the middle of that time period was the story of Hanukkah. The Greeks have taken over the world. They're coming into Jerusalem. And then there's a family of priests, the Maccabees, the Kohanim, and they live in Modi'in, not far from here, and they're able to fend off the Greeks, and they start pretty much their own kingdom called the Kingdom of the Hashmonaim. At the end of that, we're talking about the last 150 years of the Second Temple, is when the Roman Empire started overtaking the world, and its influence was felt here in Israel. And many of you know, you've been to Masada, you've been to Caesarea, to Caesarea, you've been to a whole bunch of different locations here in Israel that are tremendously built up, and it's all by the same king who ruled over this entire district during the Roman Empire, and his name is King Herod. King Herod was a freak for buildings. He loved to create the most massive buildings in the world, and he wanted to turn this entire mountain into the most massive structure in the entire Middle East. So yes, he built Masada and Horedion and the footsteps of Me'arat HaMachpelah and the Tower of David. His structures are known all over, but he decided to take this mountain and transform it. See, normally a mountain has a slope. The peak of the slope is where the Dome of the Rock is, and the slope goes all the way down to Siluan, to the city of David, where King David first originally lived. But King Herod wanted to turn it into a flat plateau. So what did he do? He built the Western Wall, he built the Southern Wall, he built walls all around, and he made it a flat. If I have like a slope over here, I put a wall, now I have a full flat plateau. And that's exactly the Temple Mount that is here from that time period. We're talking about the last 100 years around of the Second Temple, where King Herod built it. And that's why the Western Wall is not actually the holiest place for the Jewish people. Yes, that's what was liberated, but the holiest place for the Jewish people is Temple Mount. That's where the first and second temples stood. And we have to understand what makes it so special.